What's up guys, Artoboy here. Today we're doing another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Buck 119 Special. So let's begin. The Buck 119 Special. This was basically a knife that I was actually wanted to get for a long time. Yes, when I first saw it in 2010. Yeah, 2009 to be exact. So, yeah, there is going to be like one of those destined ways of, oh yeah, you're definitely going to get that. A classic example actually have its actually pretty interesting history to it. And man, I've actually the funny part about it, I got this for around $40, which is very funny about it. Surprising thing about it. So this guy was basically been started in 1942. Well, during World War II, and as you definitely know from Lone Stars, there's actually there's actually a longer variant, which is called the 120, which you could definitely know from Lone Stars. Of course, you have the steel, basically 420 HC stainless or HC out there, basically with the rat tail tang right there. Of course, wrapped in it's basically kind of feel like a wooden but plasticky handle out there, which you could definitely know. Of course, it has the crossguard to it. Little bit of fuller on both sides out there. Of course, you got the, Buck 119 USA on there. Yes, this is basically a classic for hunters out there, but it actually could be good for anything out there. So, I can't wait for Zombie Go Boom actually reviewing the Buck 118 Special. Or they just couldn't do it. So, overall size, basically almost of 6 inches. Meal for the handle size, it's almost like 5 inches. Meal for the overall size, basically of 10.5 inches. Man, was it worth the wait? Worth the 4-year wait? And I say 4-year, well, technically for me out there. If I say worth a 4-year wait, well, let's go find out about that. And of course, the sheath itself basically is leather. The sheath is made in Mexico. Of course, there's a little hole in there for it to basically drain the water out. And of course, a belt loop for it to put it on your belt up there. With a closed-in button out there. Yes, you'll see this guy, or you'll see this, or the 110, which I don't know, may actually be in the surplus haul video. I don't know, who knows. Of course, it basically have all sewn in all around it. With a pretty big, thick leather out there. So, yes, I was wanting to get this for, as you can definitely know from that whole story of that whole situation. Yeah. Well, just see the basically the Gerber profile, and you'll see that basically the story behind all that. So, let's go test this bad boy out and see if it's worth the wait. So the results out there is pretty good. I mean, this one's like clean cut through it, which that's pretty noticeable. You know, for the smaller guy, yeah, it does need some strength to do it, and well, you could definitely know it's really, you know. But again, that's a pretty good amount of damage on this one. So you could definitely see from here. This one, on the other hand, it's oh, look at that one. There's a cut there. That's pretty sharp about it, but went through it. But you could definitely know. Again, this one's, yeah, you do have to need some strength about it, or maybe sharpen it a little better. Which that's basically another deal that I have with it. This one, on the other hand, it's a couple strikes. Didn't really clean cut through it. Like, I gotta have to, like, saw the thing, which, I mean, it is a little effortlessly with that at the same time. While for the chopping, not so much on this one. Like, that one almost could go through it. But there you go. There's that. Again, I just completely like have to saw the thing. I know that's a little bit cheating on knives like this. You could definitely all know. But as you could definitely know, of all the flaws this guy has, it's still a classic, and I actually mean a classic. Just like the absolute masterpieces that is the Walker Texas Ranger. Yes, and you know, actually better than the awful remake. I can tell you that. But yeah, it actually goes alongside with, you know, pretty much of, let me give a full list of things. Things like the 110, which that one's also a classic, and if you saw that video, you should check that one out. With the 110. The Taylor Cito or Taylor Seto Dragon Claw. It's, I know it's TRS Fang, TRS Titan, TRS Titan. I know it's gonna be pretty much gonna be take a long time, but my Karambit, it actually goes alongside with these guys. We're talking about guys that aren't junk, even including the Gerber Profile, which that one's also the same. That was basically at the same time. That funny part about it, that I was wanting to get this, but instead decided to get this because my father thinks that it's a little too big. But compared to the other knives that I own, like the Felon, which, yeah, that's basically a pretty a large contrast. Knowing this thing is, man, seeing this thing compared to the Buck 110, it basically feels a little small. And that's actually kind of rude to say the 119. Even goes alongside with the modern classics like the SOG Seal Pup. Gerber Prodigy, with the both at the same price range. Zombie Tool Celius. The Zomstro, that's another classic. I actually count my K-Bar stuff as pretty classic. Swabby and its neck knife Akron. Yes, I'm calling these as pretty much classics and tolerable. the Feargal Blaze Aether. Actually, it could be almost, well, it's a little too small, but again, I still consider these as masterpieces. The Sharpfinger, basically this guy's, well, I think this is basically like the Gunsmoke, and this one's the Rifleman. Yes, I'm basically comparing equivalents to Westerns. That is basically kind of true. And even like moderns like the 06 Fast. And, well, you can, the Knuckle Dusters. Yeah, it goes alongside with those two. Oh, I didn't know it was slipped in there, but there we go. So, it goes alongside with all these, these classics you can definitely all know. And even if they're modern or new, I still think they're pretty good. So, how do I basically give the final verdict rating of? I give the 119 special an astounding, like, a 9 out of 10. Now, basically don't have things like danglers, which that could probably would work. And for pretty much a lot of things, yeah, despite the flaws that, from the test, which we can all know, I think what I needed to do is sharpening this pretty much like hair shaven sharp like the K-bars. And I still think it's really an excellent knife for any like beginner collectors, which you can all know. Like, this is basically a knife that I say, basically go get this alongside with these three knives, which are basically inexpensive, sure. And of course the 110, and also the this guy, the Swiss Army knife. Yep, that's going on there. And also the 06 Fast. And also the Sharpfinger, which just all these are all better too. Like, it's actually would be like an excellent competition for these guys. And actually most goated knives. Like, pretty much all like goated knives you can possibly can get. Yeah. So that wraps up of the Buck 119 special. I'm Artillboy, and I'm signing out. I'll see you guys next time.